In today's movie, we follow a man named David who discovers a mysterious time portal. Hoping to change his fate, he travels 5 years into the past to prevent his daughter's tragic death. However, altering the past comes with severe consequences, and soon David realizes his future is about to change in ways he never expected. The story begins with David living with his wife, Maya, and their young daughter, Leonie. One day, Maya has to go out for a while, leaving David in charge of Leonie. Instead of staying home with her, he tells her to play inside while he steps out for a short while. However, David isn't going for a casual outing. He's secretly meeting with a woman named Gia, with whom he has been having an affair. At Gia's place, the two spends the quality time, and David loses track of time. Eventually, he leaves and rushes home, unaware that his life is about to change forever. When he arrives, he calls out for Leonie, but gets no response. He searches every room, growing more anxious with each passing second. As he steps outside, his heart drops. Near the pool, he spots something small and familiar, his daughter's ribbon. David quickly jumps into the pool, desperately trying to save his daughter, but it's already too late. Leonie is stuck underwater, unable to breathe, and drowns before he can reach her. The weight of the moment crushes him. His own negligence led to this tragedy. If he hadn't left her alone to meet Gia, this would never have happened. 5 years pass, but the pain remains. After Leonie's death, Maya couldn't forgive David. She divorced him, unable to stay with the man responsible for their daughter's loss. Now David comes to see her, hoping for one last chance to make things right. But Maya refuses, reminding him that while their daughter was drowning, he was out having an affair. Her words sting, and before David can say anything, her new husband forces him to leave. With nothing left, David feels his life is meaningless. For 5 years, he has lived with unbearable guilt. He returns to the same pool where Leonie drowned, staring at the water. Overcome with grief, he jumps in, ready to end it all. But just as he starts sinking, his best friend Max pulls him out. Later, Max tells David that giving up isn't the answer. He urges him to move forward, not by forgetting Leonie, but by living in a way that honors her memory. Max offers David a place to stay with his family for a few days, but David feels empty. Ever since his daughter's death, he has been broken beyond repair. Without saying anything, he walks away into the cold night. Drunk and stumbling, David struggles to stay upright on the icy road. Suddenly, he slips and falls. As he tries to get up, he notices a strange glow near the roadside. Squinting, he sees what looks like a portal, radiating light. Curious and dazed, David moves closer and steps inside. Instantly, everything shifts. The dark, cold night disappears, and suddenly it's broad daylight. Confused, he looks around, realizing something feels strangely familiar. Then it hits him. He has traveled back in time. The portal sent him 5 years into the past, to the exact day his daughter drowned. Panicked, David spots his past self walking down the road, heading to meet Gia. He now knows he has a second chance. Without wasting a moment, he runs toward his house. He must stop himself and save Leonie before it's too late. As David rushes home, a speeding truck slams into him, knocking him down. Pain shoots through his body, but he doesn't stop. He forces himself up and keeps running, knowing he has no time to waste. Bursting into the house, he sprints to the pool and dives in. His heart pounds as he searches the water, and to his relief, Leonie is still alive. He quickly pulls her out, holding her tightly as she gasps for air. Overwhelmed, he hugs her, tears in his eyes. He had saved her. But in his relief, he forgets one thing. His past self is still here. Two versions of him cannot exist in the same timeline. After putting Leonie to bed, he picks up a pencil when suddenly the front door opens. His past self walks in and freezes in shock. Before future David can explain, past David panics and attacks. A struggle breaks out, knocking over furniture. In the chaos, future David's hand tightens around the pencil, and in one wrong move, it plunges into past David's throat. Blood spills as past David gasps, his eyes filled with horror. Within seconds, he collapses, dead. Then, a small gasp. Future David turns and sees Leonie standing in the hallway, frozen in fear. She had seen everything. He quickly tells her to go to her room. With no choice, he takes over his past self's life, hides the body, and buries it in the garden. But as he finishes, he looks up and sees Leonie watching him. She had seen it all. Future David enters the bathroom and stares at his reflection. 5 years have changed him. To truly take his past self's place, he needs to look exactly like him. He showers, trims his hair, and dyes it back to match. Then he burns the clothes he arrived in, erasing any trace of his future self. By evening, Maya returns home. She greets David, believing he's the same man she left that morning. She tells him that their friend Max is coming over for dinner. David's heart pounds. Just hours ago, in the future, Max had saved him from drowning. Now he must act normal and avoid suspicion. As they sit down for dinner, David carefully plays his role. But just when he starts feeling in control, Leonie speaks up. She looks at him him and firmly says, "This is not my real father. He killed my real father." A tense silence fills the room, but everyone dismisses it as a child's imagination. Maya takes Leonie aside, gently explaining that she must have been confused. Later, she tells David that their constant fighting is affecting Leonie, which is why she arranged this dinner, to help them reconnect. Their marriage had already been strained, and Maya was beginning to suspect David's affairs. If he wanted to truly take over this life, he had to fix everything. Determined to cover his tracks, David looks for his phone, the one that belongs to this timeline's David. But after searching everywhere, he finds nothing. That night, he sneaks into the garden and digs near, past David's buried body, hoping to find it. But the phone isn't there either. The next morning, Maya calls David's phone. To his horror, a woman answers. He quickly grabs the phone and lies to Maya, telling her that someone found it on the street and he's going to pick it up. But deep down, David knows someone else has the phone, and that means his secret might not be safe. David realizes that he must have left his phone at Gia's place when he visited her the previous day. He heads to her house, knowing he needs to retrieve it before Maya or anyone else finds out. When he arrives, Gia hands him the phone, but then makes a demand. She wants him to marry her. David is taken aback. He firmly refuses, telling her that he has a family and won't see her again. Gia is furious, but lets him leave. As he steps outside, he notices Max watching him from across the street. Later, Max calls him to a bar. Sitting across from him, Max doesn't mince words. He tells David that he shouldn't cheat on Maya and that he's about to destroy a perfectly good family. David knows he can't keep lying to Max. Lowering his voice, he tells him something unbelievable, that he isn't the same David Max has known. He explains that he traveled 5 years back in time through a portal to fix his past mistakes and save Leonie's life. Max looks skeptical, struggling to believe such a story. He asks a crucial question. What happened to the David from this timeline? David hesitates before admitting the truth. In a tragic accident, he had killed his past self. Now he was taking his place. Max stares at him, speechless. The weight of David's confession settles between them. The question now is, what will Max do with this shocking truth? David, hoping to convince Max further, tells him that in the future, he will be highly successful and will have 2 sons. He also reveals that it was Max who saved him from drowning in the future. However, Max remains skeptical, believing David might be experiencing some kind of delusion. Instead of arguing, he advises David to get some rest and leaves. The next day, David sets out to see Maya's future husband, the man she will eventually marry after divorcing him. To his surprise, it's Leonie's music teacher. Realizing this, David becomes determined to change fate and save his marriage. To prevent Maya from ever meeting him, David tells Leonie that she must stop taking music lessons immediately. If she never attends class, Maya will never cross paths with the teacher, and their relationship will never begin. At the same time, David knows he must repair his bond with Leonie. She still fears him after what she saw, so he changes his approach, becoming kinder and more involved in her life. He plays with her, speaks to her gently, and reassures her, trying to rebuild the trust he had unknowingly broken. David continues improving his relationship with Maya, spending more time with her and talking like they used to. Their bond slowly mends, and eventually they share an intimate moment, making him feel like he has truly fixed things. The next day, David reassures Leonie that he didn't kill her real father, but instead sent him to heaven. He tells her he is an angel sent by God to take care of her. Leonie believes him and finally accepts him as her father. With everything now seemingly in place, David feels like he has successfully changed his fate. His marriage is back on track, Leonie trusts him, and his past mistakes have been corrected. A few days later, during David's birthday party, everything seems perfect. But then, he notices Max looking at something Leonie is showing him. A moment later, Max suddenly leaves. Curious, David checks what it was, a painting. His heart sinks. Leonie had painted the moment he killed past David. Realizing Max now knows the truth, David rushes outside after him. Meanwhile, in the garden, heavy rain starts washing away the soil, revealing the buried body. As soon as Max sees David, he starts yelling, demanding to know who he really is and why he killed his friend. Furious and shaken, Max threatens to expose him, to Maya, to the police, to everyone. David tries to calm him down, but Max won't listen. The argument quickly turns into a struggle as Max pushes David, trying to force him inside to reveal the truth. Suddenly, from behind, a figure emerges. Before David can react, the man, Siggy, brutally attacks Max. Within seconds, Max is on the ground, lifeless. David stares in shock as Siggy steps forward, wiping the blood off his hands. Looking at David, he smirks and says, "This is our job. Anyone who finds out you're from the future must die." David is stunned. How does Siggy know the truth? How does he know about the time portal? Siggy offers no explanation, at least not yet. Instead, he orders David to help him dispose of Max's body. Together, they drag it deep into the forest, hiding the evidence. After returning from the forest, David quickly changes his clothes and tells everyone to leave, ending the party abruptly. abruptly. His mind is a mess. He had just witnessed his best friend being murdered, and the weight of it was unbearable. Maya, frustrated, questions him about his sudden change in behavior. She demands to know why he has been acting so strange lately. Thinking fast, David lies, saying that Max gave him drugs last night, which messed with his mood and made him end the party early. Maya looks doubtful but doesn't press further. Later, Siggy arrives and, under the pretense of a casual conversation, takes David to his house. There, Siggy finally reveals the truth, how he knew David was from the future and why he helped him kill Max. Siggy explains that he discovered the time portal years ago and traveled 8 years into the past. Once there, he killed his past self and took his place, ensuring he avoided the mistakes that would have ruined his life. He tells David that the moment he saw him get hit by the truck, he realized David had done the same thing. But the most shocking part, they are not alone. Many people have used the portal to rewrite their past, and to keep it a secret, Siggy eliminates anyone who finds out. David now understands. The world is already full of people who shouldn't exist in this timeline. Jiggy shocks David even more by revealing that they are not the only ones. Many people have traveled from the future, killed their past versions, and taken their place. But there's more. These time travelers work together. They help each other eliminate their past selves and ensure that no one ever finds out. If anyone suspects the truth, they are silenced permanently. Horrified by what he has learned, David returns home, his mind spinning with fear and confusion. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, Maya witnesses something terrifying. She sees her neighbor, who was actually from the future, killing his past self. The neighbor, realizing that Maya has seen everything, turns his head and locks eyes with her. A chill runs down Maya's spine as she understands the danger she is in. Without hesitation, the neighbor starts chasing her. Maya's heart pounds as she runs, knowing that if he catches her, she might never escape. David rushes to Maya, trying to calm her down, but she is already in panic and has called the police. Within minutes, officers arrive. Maya tells them she saw their neighbor, Paul, murder someone who looked exactly like him. The police, confused, find her story impossible. They assume she is stressed or hallucinating and suggest she seek medical help. Despite her protests, they dismiss her claims and leave without investigating further. Meanwhile, future Maya arrives. She traveled 5 years back, desperate to reunite with Leonie and stay in this timeline. She tells David that she wants to live here without harming the current Maya, but Siggy refuses. He insists there is no other way. Future Maya must take over, and if she doesn't kill current Maya, their group will eliminate her. Siggy then turns to David, saying he must kill Maya himself so future Maya can take her place. He warns that if David doesn't do it, someone else will. David pretends to agree, but has no intention of doing it. That night, as he returns home, current Maya attacks him, convinced that David is involved in something dangerous. He stops her and tells her the truth. He confesses that he is from 5 years in the future, having traveled back through a time portal to save Leonie. He explains how future Maya has now come for the same reason, but Siggy and his group are hunting her down to replace her. Meanwhile, Siggy realizes David has lied. Furious, he calls in other time travelers, people who have killed their past selves and taken their places. They begin surrounding the house. Inside, future Maya sees Leonie. Overcome with emotion, she rushes forward and hugs her, crying. For future Maya, this might be her last chance to hold her daughter again. But outside, danger is closing in. Current Maya finally comes face to face with her future self, and everything clicks. She now understands David was telling the truth all along. Realizing there's no other way to escape, they come up with a plan. Current Maya and Leonie will travel to the future, where they will be safe. But outside, Siggy and his group have gathered, surrounding the house. To distract them, David jumps into his car and speeds off, making it look like they are escaping. The group immediately chases after him. As the pursuit intensifies, David loses control and his car flips over. The pursuers rush to check inside, only to realize David was alone. He tricked them. Meanwhile, current Maya grabs Leonie and runs toward the portal, but Siggy spots them and starts chasing them. Just as Siggy is about to reach them, future Maya steps in to block him, trying to stop him from interfering. At that moment, injured but determined, David drives in at full speed. With one final desperate move, he crashes his car into Siggy, forcing him straight into the portal. At the same time, current Maya and Leonie successfully step through, arriving 5 years into the future. The portal collapses, destroyed forever. Time travel is no longer possible. Now future David and future Maya are trapped in the past, while Leonie and current Maya are safe in the future. Though heartbroken to be without their daughter, David and Maya take comfort in knowing that Leonie is alive, happy, and safe in another timeline. And with that, the movie ends. For more amazing content, subscribe to the channel. Thank you.